right, firing on all cylinders. Here we go into the next hour of the Steve Gruber Show. Glad you're along for the conversation. Trigger warning, you could have great patriotic reactions to this program and have a smile for the rest of the day as a result of being here. You have been warned. Welcome back to Studio G. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, after opening stores about every 2 miles for years, Rite Aid closing them all. Bankrupt. I mean, how badly do you have to screw up to close literally every store? You open hundreds, you force thousands of pharmacies to go out of business, mom and pop shops gone, and then you pull the plug. Number two, DHS is offering $1,000 and a plane ticket to self-deport. It's a good deal if you want to get out before getting kicked out. I like it. And number three, we talked about the truth about COVID coming from a Wuhan lab leak again yesterday in detail. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to it, or go to stevegruber.com and read the article about it. On Monday, President Trump did something about it. In fact, it's pretty important. The lab leak, you see, was always true, just like I told you, beginning in March of 2020. Listen to what was said yesterday.
So it can leak out like from Wuhan, and a lot of people think that. I think I said that right from day one. It leaked out, whether it was to the girlfriend or somebody else, but scientists walked outside to have lunch with the girlfriend, or was together with a lot of people. But that's how it leaked out, in my opinion, and I've never changed that opinion. So it can leak out innocently, stupidly, incompetently, but innocently, and half destroy the world. Right?
That's right. That's right, Mr. President. It's
Mr. President, there are, I think, 3 leaks. BSL-3 and BSL-4 labs, our highest rated laboratories almost every week. There's no laboratory that does this right. There's no laboratory that's immune from leaks, and this is going to prevent those kind of inadvertent leaks from happening in the future and endangering humanity. The COVID outbreak cost 20 million lives and cost the world at least $25 trillion. And this executive order is a precaution against us being involved in that kind of research in the future.
That's good. Very honored to do this.
Cost the world $25 trillion. Did you hear that? $25 trillion. I mean, look what we spent here. $10 trillion spent in the United States. The rest of the world, $15 trillion more. A remarkable amount of money. While kids were locked at home, companies were shut down, hospitals were terrible, people had to die alone in nursing homes. All of it just awful. Coming tomorrow, I'll be with Dr. Peter McCullough for a special event on X, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, a Spaces event. Listen, follow me on X. You can keep up to date on all of this. Tomorrow night, Peter McCullough and I will be together. According to one of his colleagues, Nicholas Holscher, an epidemiologist, 600,000 Americans have now died from the so-called vaccines, the COVID jabs. More than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam deaths combined, which is about 580,000. He says we've lost 600,000. Here's how he says the most likely ways to die from the COVID jab. Sudden cardiac death, 35%. Pulmonary embolism, 12.5%. Myocardial infarction, 12%, which is another form of heart attack. Vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia, VITT, 7.9%. Myocarditis, 7.1%. Multi-system inflammatory syndrome, 4.6%. Cerebral hemorrhage, 3.8%. He's been sounding those alarms since a bombshell new peer-reviewed study. And according to the study, based on the data from autopsies, 73.9% of the deaths after COVID vaccination directly linked to that jab. We'll be talking about that in detail with Dr. Peter McCullough tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Don't miss it. On X. If you're not on X currently, get on. Be somebody. Be part of this conversation. You can ask questions, potentially. We'll get to as many questions there tomorrow as possible, but I'm excited to do it with Dr. McCullough. Tomorrow's going to be a very busy day for me. A lot going on, I can tell you that. Today's a lot going on. Investment in America. We talk about it some. We don't talk about it enough. Dramatic investment in America. It's mind-blowing. Listen to what Scott Bessent, your Secretary of the Treasury, said about it yesterday.
The president believes we can achieve more together. This is the abundant vision he has for the future. He wants everyone to be a part of it. Thousands of businesses are now catching the president's vision. Since he assumed office in January, companies have pledged to invest trillions into the U.S. economy. President Trump has secured more investment for our country in 100 days than President Biden did during all 4 years. Entrepreneurs, too, are starting to understand what the president is trying to accomplish. March saw one of the highest levels ever recorded for new business applications. Many of these men and women, like many of you, are grasping that America First is the blueprint for a more abundant world.
Yeah. By the way, if you're looking to invest and you had an eye on that Rite Aid building in your neighborhood, well, it could be available for you. If you want to invest in that location, you're like, how does Rite Aid have that location? It'll soon be available. Rite Aid preparing to file its second bankruptcy less than 1 year after exiting its first in June of 24. CEO Matt Schroeder, according to Bloomberg, says that Rite Aid says that it intends to file for bankruptcy after completing its first restructuring plan. The company's been unable to secure funding to continue operations. Some areas will begin to close stores very quickly. And apparently, Schroeder cites a dramatic downturn in the economy with increased cost. There's not a sudden downturn in the economy. People buy pharmaceuticals and they buy things that Rite Aid sells. It was a lousy business plan. Meanwhile, one last thing. So much going on, and I wanted to get to this. I want to get it in. The FCC chair, Federal Communications Commission, Brendan Carr, says local news and news done by people like me is more trustworthy than news done by the mainstream media. Really? No kidding. You mean I'm more likely to tell the truth than somebody on Chicken Noodle News? That's right. Listen.
So are you threatening to pull their license? Wouldn't that be a pretty drastic step?
Well, it's not a threat. That's a penalty that is in the Communications Act, that if you don't...
But when was the last time the FCC pulled a broadcast license?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I think that's part of the issue. If you step back, trust in the national mainstream media is at an absolute low right now. That's not just my view. Jeff Bezos himself did an op-ed where he said that. But what's really interesting is that actually local stations, local TV stations, have a lot of trust. And so the agenda that I'm trying to run at the FCC is to empower those actual local television stations to serve the public interest. Because what we've seen is you've got national news media, ABC, NBC, CBS, and they're exercising more and more control over those local TV stations. And I don't think that's a good thing for the country. So we're trying to reverse that.
Yeah. Trust of the national news media is at an all-time low. No kidding. How did that happen? COVID? Russiagate? The treatment of Donald Trump in general? I don't know, but they've destroyed their credibility, which is why nobody's there anymore, and there are places like this. You come here to watch programs like this. Good idea. Coming up next, Will Tebow will be here, former Army Ranger. He says, drones, we're not ready for the next war. What do you make of it? We'll talk about it straight ahead on the Steve Gruber Show.